What is going on, guys? Seed here with some more FC25 content, and guys, it has been a day already, right? We started streaming probably around like 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning, and guys, we waited for the 1 o'clock content drop, and it was Roger Ibanez da Silva, guys, the Saudi League player that was rumored to come out, finally, that was leaked, right? And rumored to come out, finally came out, but the stats look on paper a little worrying in terms of like the actual pure defensive stats, right? But the pace is absolutely perfect, right? 87 pace for a center back is absolutely insane. He's insanely fast, right? So what I went ahead and did, right? As soon as we finished out the SBCs, right? Literally from the Rivals rewards and from every like penny that we had in in our FUT club, right? We literally finished out all the blocks, and we had like a couple thousand coins remaining. And what we did was we sold off whatever we could sell off. And folks, we put Cristiano Ronaldo up top as a striker because our Sadio Mane unfortunately went up to a 32 out of 33. He yielded us a 32 out of 33 in terms of chem. So we couldn't use that card, right? Because the Iwobi card took over in the central midfield position, and he was kind of like out of chemistry. He didn't boost chemistry. He actually made chemistry a little harder, right? And the Saudi side, it's a whole bunch of different clubs. The way chemistry works this year and last year, since they changed the chemistry system, it's been a little tricky, right? It's trickier than years prior, right? But what I'm going to tell you is that this year I didn't believe anyone that told me that the Ultimate Team climb, the Rivals climb, was absolutely as difficult as it would be, right? But we hit a roadblock very early on in the FC25 journey, right? We speed ran, right? We literally had the game for like 2 weeks and 3 days, I want to say, right? And we speed ran in that time. We speed ran up to Division 3, right? And you're literally going to see our climb to D3 right now, right? So this is what this is like literally the process that happened live on Twitch. So guys, if you are new to the stream, if you are new to the YouTube channel, right, wherever you're seeing this, right, you can follow me over on Twitch. You can subscribe over here on YouTube, right? Likes, comments, subscription, notification bell, they all help keep the channel going. But guys, if you want to see it live, engage with me, right? I'm getting used to it, right? Live streaming is a little different, right? Because engaging with people, you have to find a way to strike the correct balance, right? In terms of like if you're doing like competitive matches, right? It's very hard to speak while you're facing all these high rated players, right? So we got the 80 plus by 5 done, right? And the 80 plus by 5, right? It actually gave us coinage in a sense back, right? Because you're gonna see right now who we pull from the 80 plus by 5, right? Because we put Cristiano Ronaldo on, we put the Ibanez card back in the center back to pair with Virgil van Dijk, right? So that is sorted, right, in terms of like center back pairings for the Saudi League and the Prem side, right? So that's an absolutely wicked card, right? So at least on paper. The only thing that was worrying me, right, and you're gonna see, right, the only thing that was worrying me, right, was that essentially like I was scared at the defensive awareness, because the defensive awareness is actually really low, right? And if you use a shadow chem style, right, it only goes up to 84, right? Rather than with the Sentinel, it's an 88, I believe, right? So I was like in the air, right? Whether to put a Sentinel or a shadow, right? So with that being said, we put on Kobo, we packed Kobo and we packed Brent, right? So Brent and Kobo, we essentially made back some coinage, right? Like they're untradables, but in terms of fodder, we have the equivalent, right? So I am a little out of breath, right? Because a lot of live streaming, right? It's very talk intensive, and usually with the YouTube videos, it's just compositional, so you just speak for a little while, right? But with the live streaming, you're engaging constantly, right? So it's a little different of an experience, but it's absolutely good times, right? Absolutely just chill vibes all the time, right? So yeah, we did start to hit the roadblock, right? So we started editing the lineup, right? And this is how the lineup looks, right? We put Cristiano Ronaldo on, and we have him with a Hunter chem style, right? And we put Ibanez on, paired with Van Dijk. Ibanez now has a shadow chem style, so he'll kind of like help out the João Cancelo, who is like not as pacey in the back line, right? We're still looking for like an upgraded left back that can fit in terms of like chemistry, right? So with that being said, we were having trouble, but this morning, right, our troubles kind of like went away because we spaced out the matches correctly. And we limited it. I think I limited it to like 3 matches at a time on stream, right? 2 to 3 matches. And we ended up climbing. Like, it was just like straight wins today, right? Like, today was like the perfect day in FC25. Everything started clicking again, just like old, right? And I was worried. I was worried about putting on Cristiano Ronaldo and pairing him with Ruder, right? But he yielded us perfect chem. Now, I was worried about that because Ronaldo is extremely slow this year, but his attack positioning is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. And Iwobi paired with Conte in the central midfield position, absolutely goated, right? It's absolutely insanely good, right? If you're running this type of squad, right? This hybrid, right? So the hybrid is a Prem Saudi hybrid, and Conte, right, paired with Iwobi in the midfield, absolutely goated, right? It's really good. Not goated, but it's good, right? For 2 center midfielders, right? Iwobi tracks back extremely fast, and Conte has the right amount of pace and the right amount of defense that can actually get you by, right? Obviously, there are better cards, way better cards, right? But Conte does it for cheap, right? And the Cristiano Ronaldo this year is absolutely a cheap beast, right? Because his attack positioning is absolutely insanely good for this stage in the game. His pace is low, but he has the special animations and he moves differently in game. You can still see that that's there, right? It transferred over, right, from previous builds to now, right? So he still plays like a special player, right? So Ibanez, Van Dijk, Walker, Cancelo in the back, Alisson as our goalkeeper, right? Conte, Iwobi, then Neymar. Neymar is absolutely goated in game. He's one of my favorite players to play with in this FUT. In FC25, Neymar is an absolute beast. In FC25, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, with the stats, not his pace is not like on paper, it's a 77 rated pace card, right? But in game, right, every time I've come across a player using Cristiano Ronaldo, whether it be in FUT Champs or in Rivals, he's just absolutely averaged like 2 to 3 goals, right? So he's been hat-tricking against me, right? Like anytime that Ronaldo card was my opponent, right, in my opponent's side, right, he was just hat-tricking, right? He was either 2 goals or 3 goals, right? It's all in the VODs if you happen to see any of them, right? If they're still there, right? They're only up for a couple of days. It's not like YouTube, right? It's a different format altogether. But the times that I faced Cristiano Ronaldo in game, right, he absolutely just tore me apart. So we were worried, right? It was just like the pairing, right? The low defensive awareness was the downside to the Ibanez card, right? But is it noticeable is going to be my question, and I'm going to answer that right now. Guys, Ibanez can track back as a center back, right? Just in case he accidentally goes forward, he's always back on time, right? So he's an extremely tough center back for strikers to pass, right? Especially with Virgil van Dijk, right? So the line breaks are going to be there in the back line, right? But it's not going to be as apparent, right? Because he's going to be able to track back in time, right? So guys, it's already 1-0 5 minutes in, right? Less than 5 minutes in, it was already 1-0, right? We only had 2 matches to go up, right, for this player review for actually 2 players in a row, right? So it's like literally Cristiano Ronaldo and the Ibanez card, right? The Ibanez SBC, right? So ladies and gentlemen, right, look at the score. It's 2-0 by minute 7 of FUT, and it's like I never left, right? So we did actually hit a roadblock though, right? We're like literally speedrunning divisions, right? But we did start hitting a roadblock, right? So that's what I want to say there, right? So you're gonna see 2 matches, right? And it's literally just good times for like 2 matches, folks. I'm not joking with you when I'm telling you like I had the most fun putting together this team. So we put Palmer on the bench, right? Palmer goes on the bench. Look, Cristiano Ronaldo scores, right? 24th minute in, right? And Ronaldo is just absolutely beastly, right? It's what you come to expect. And folks, he's an advanced forward, right? Absolutely good times, right? Hamsik is there from my opponent's side, right? My opponent had a very expensive side, right? No joke. Very, very expensive. He's got Haji, he's got Hamsik, he's got Di Lorenzo, right? That's a very comparable side, right? And what I'm going to tell you is that my back line was extremely solid, right? Koulibaly is good. We have Marquinhos. Koulibaly we sold off, but he was good, right? He was a placeholder until that Ibanez card came through, right? So it was just getting the chem working, right? So Mane, what I'm going to tell you about Mane is that Mane is very inconsistent as a striker. Like I was never like like it's not a sound enough card for me, right? For some reason in game it doesn't some matches he translates into and he converts his chances, and some matches he just does not show up and he plays like a winger even in the striker position, right? So it's actually quite annoying, right, at times using the Mane card, but Mane was like a placeholder for Thuram, right? But what I'm going to tell you is that Thuram as a super sub is there, but we don't even get to use the Thuram card because the Cristiano Ronaldo card, even with it being just 86, is just absolutely goated, right? Not goated, just really good, right? A couple boosts, right, in whatever form it takes, and he's just going to be absolutely, I believe he already has a special card, right? So he's absolutely just going to be a nightmare to play against, right? His regular card's a nightmare, was a nightmare for me to play against, right? So I'm not even joking, right? He was putting away headers, he was putting away special shots, right? It's just wild, right? Because the stats don't lead to it sounding like that, but it actually is, right? So look at that, like we pull it back, right, and then we make it 6-0. We're not even in the out of our first half yet, right? And it's already, right? It took 6 goals, right? 6 goals to put this player away, right? To put our opponent away, and it was an absolutely epic match. I can't stress to you enough how epic I played with the team that I put together, right? So it took a lot of strategy to get to this point, to whatever you see on the screen. So we did rivals earlier today, did not get anything, right? There's the max, and I did the correct thing by not starting the max 88 hero pack, SBC, right? Bricks, blocks, whatever you like to call them, right? So the joke that I made here was, how many freaking 10s could you possibly get in an FUT match? Because Iwobi got a 10, Foden got a 10, Ronaldo got a 10, Neymar got a 10, Ruder got an 8.6. Like literally everyone. And Ibanez, we didn't really get to test Ibanez and Van Dijk as a pair, right? In this, because it never showed up, right? It never got to that level where they were defensively tested, because the midfield is always in the correct, like Conte paired with Iwobi is just so brutal of a midfield combination, right? In game, they translate together well, right? And they do the defensive work well when they have to, and they do the offensive work well when they have to, right? So they're like perfect midfielders together, right? And paired with 2 strikers up top, Ruder and Ronaldo, absolutely insane, right? And I didn't know if this was a one-off, but we were having trouble in rivals, climbing rivals, right? We were really, rivals was giving us some hell. I guess it was like getting used to the animations, right? Because it's only like week number 2. Well, now it's like 2 and change, right? So, Iwobi was the game changer, and we're on the hot streak, right? And once you get on the hot streak, we've already got 15 points, right? So we got to get 45 points now that we're in Division 3, right? But, folks, instantaneously, what I'm going to tell you, right, as a quick player review, I'm going to give Ibanez, right, I'm going to cut to the chase, and I'm going to give him like a 9.1, 9.2, right? Just by how he feels in game. He feels fast, he feels fluid, right? And he's in the correct position, right? But I don't know how he's going to behave if we concede 1 goal, 2 goals, because literally all we've been doing since we has just been like bullying our opponents, right? So that's absolutely what you want to see. So Total Rush Ibanez, is he worth it? I'm going to tell you yes. He's a control lengthy, 1 game and 1 absolutely dominant game, right? That's what you want to see, right? Not that we care, like these days we're prioritizing vibes, right? You want to have good vibes, you want to have clean vibes, you want to have just a chill time. You don't want any toxicity in the community, nothing like that, right? 6-0 is a dominant win. It's a really competitive, insanely well-rounded performance by all players, right, in my possession, right? And my opponent gave it his best, right? But the players that we put together showed through, right? They shone through. It was a lot of strategy to put together the right players, and some luck in the form of Virgil van Dijk, right? But the strategy portion is deciding to put Iwobi, right? Iwobi has really made the difference. I didn't think he was going to make a difference, right? I was just testing him out, and I was like, his stats seem similar to Llorente, and I like the Llorente card, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? Is that just a one-off, right? So we get into the second match, and this is like the promotion match theoretically, right? If we win this, we go up to D3, right? And we essentially speed run the majority of the divisions. Now we get to the cat. Now, if we win this, right? Obviously, I cut to the chase and I told you that we won, right? But if we had won this match, right, we've essentially in 2 weeks climbed up to Division 3, right? And it's like we never left, right? And it's a good feeling. Look at the Wobie right there, right? Absolutely epic, right? And right here, my opponent gets a little too like frenzied, right, in that exchange, and he tries to tackle with Bruno Fernandes, and he kind of makes a misstep on the tackle. It's probably because we're all learning the tackling animations this year, right? And for whatever reason, he tried to slide tackle, and the players are dangerous, right? So he's having a little trouble stripping the ball. Ronaldo takes the shot, and folks, we make it 1-0. Took a little while to break this opponent down. Took 18 minutes, right? 18 FUT minutes, right? Which is approximately like 2 to 3 minutes, right? Probably 2 minutes, right? So it took 2 minutes, 2 real minutes, to like maybe a minute and 45 seconds, right, to break this opponent down. Probably 2 minutes, 2 minutes and change actually, right? So it took a little while to break this opponent down, but once we did, right, very strong opponent, but the red card, it just signaled, okay, the match is gonna go one way, right? So Ibanez had one tackle, one definitive tackle, right? He tracked back absolutely insanely well, right? It was just absolutely standard, right? How quickly he tracked back. He won the duel, right? And it was just good times. Folks, we did some crazy grinding within 2.5 weeks, and we're up to D3, right? This is literally the Division 3 promotion match, right? So from 3 to 2, I feel like we're going to have it pretty easy, right? And then 2 to 1, pretty easy. I don't know. 3 to 2, maybe like pretty straightforward. Not easy, because 4 to 3 was a little difficult with the players that we were running. But 3 to 2, 2 to 1, we'll see, right? But if things keep going our way, right, with the players that we have, right, and if we get any more special players, this should be a very fast FUT journey, right? Which is what you would want to see, right? A lot of the other pros and regulars in the FUT universe have already hit elite, right? And they're scared now of staying in elite, right? But guys, that'll be the end of the video. Fast video, we try out Ibanez, the Ibanez SBC. Is he worth it? Of course he's worth it if you're running a Saudi side, right? Or if you're running a hybrid Brazilian side, right? So guys, that will be the video for now. A solid 9.0 to 9.1 to 9.2, right? Paired with Virgil, of course, right? So guys, that'll be the video for now. Peace, love, all the blessings to you and yours. His pace really does stand out. Guys, cheers. Take care of yourselves. I'm going to go and chill now. So that makes up for it, right?